I will introduce all of you at the time of panel discussion. We'll just finish this iron deficiency anemia slides first. So iron deficiency anemia, all of us know it's a very, very important topic, and it's very close to our heart because we day to day we see it in our daily routine. So the learning objective is today is the diagnosis of pregnancy. Number 2, learn the effect of anemia on mother and a fetus. Learn the presentation in pregnancy. Learn the prevention of anemia and the supplementation of the oral iron during the pregnancy. I tell you, in the whole my life, like 30 years of my practice, I always find that the anemia kya hi subject hai, but each and every day we find anemia in our practices, and treating anemia always gives us sometimes happiness, sometimes depression, sometimes many more things with the anemia. So can everyone will mute their this mic so that there will not be the echo over there? Please mute all of them. Please mute their mics. Then the management of anemia during pregnancy. So these are the simple things which we'll talk about. This is the background information. It's a common medical disorders in pregnancy. It's a prevalent about 50 to 70% in our country. Then it causes the perinatal mortality and a morbidity. It causes nutritional anemia, as iron deficiency is the commonest, and it's an important contributor to the maternal mortality and a morbidity. So all of us know it's a very, very important thing anemia is. And the Indian pregnant women, number 1, it's a 56 million pregnant women. It's a 41.8% of the total are affected with anemia, and again mostly due to the iron deficiency. And number 2 point, in India, anemia is directly or indirectly responsible for 40% maternal deaths. So the definition, I'm not going into detail, all of us know, less than 12 gram in non-pregnant and less than 11 in a pregnant WHO. But the important is hematocrit. Just try to understand. I may ask this question during the panel discussion. The hematocrit is very, very important. So these are the simple thing, normal blood cell in the there and anemic red blood cells. So count is less. And this is another thing is normal blood. If we kept like this, there are the hematocrit value is about 37 to 47% in a normal blood, but it decreased into the anemic conditions. So the classification of anemia, it depends upon the hemoglobin. Less than 4, very severe. 4.6 to 9, severe. 7.9 gram, it's moderate. And 10 to 10.1, it's a mild. So we day to day we see this type of patients and we treat it. So there are 2 type of things, the causes which we find out. It can be a nutritional iron deficiency anemia, pre-pregnancy pure nutrition, very important. Besides iron, folate and B12 deficiency, the chronic blood loss due to the parasitic infection, hookworm, malaria, multiparity and multiple pregnancy. We normally we don't ask the patient about this infections, malaria, but it's very, very important. Recurrent urinary infections, impaired erythropoiesis, acute blood loss in APH and PPH, hemolytic anemias in pregnancy-induced hypertension, and hemoglobinopathies like thalassemia, sickle cell anemia, aplastic anemia is rare. Now, this is the pathophysiology of the nutritional anemia in pregnancy. It's augmented erythropoiesis. Number 2, it leads to blood volume increases 40 to 50%. There is an increase in a plasma, red blood cell mass leading is less. So the hemodilution, and there is a decreased hemoglobin level. Iron stores depleted in each pregnancy, and too soon and too many pregnancies causes the iron deficiency anemia. Now the physiological anemia, increase in plasma volume, comparative less increase in RBC, it leads to hemodilution and a physiological anemia. Now why we need extra iron during the pregnancy? During pregnancy, total 800 to 1000 milligram extra iron is required. 300 for the fetus, 50 for the placenta, 400 to 500 for the red cell mass, and 250 milligram iron loss during the delivery and 220. So we needed added 250 more. So due to the cessation of the menses and the contraction of the blood volume after delivery, conservation of iron is around 400 milligram. So the factors required for initially I thought why to talk about all this nonsense about factors required for the erythropoiesis, then I thought that we should know about it. Protein synthesis, globin, mineral iron synthesis, heme, hormones, that's erythropoietin, kidney stimulate the stem cell bone marrow, thyroxine and androgen. Trace elements, zinc, cobalt and copper is important. Then vitamin is very, very important. Vitamin B12 for RNA, folic acid for the DNA, vitamin C for the conversion of folic acid into the folinic acid, Pyridoxine, that is a B6, usual adjuvant to erythropoiesis, and vitamin A required for the cell growth, differentiation, maintenance, and integrity of the embryo. So all the factors, right from protein to hormone to the vitamins to the minerals, everything is important for the hemopoiesis and erythropoiesis, and very, very important. Now these are the daily requirement. See, simple things are there. Normal diet, 14 milligram iron. Absorption of the iron, 5 to 10%. Additional iron demand in early pregnancy, 2 to 3 milligram. Late pregnancy, 6 to 7 milligram. So daily supplementation should be 40 to 60 because there is absorption of 5 to 10%, and early pregnancy we need more. So the 40 to 60, you just keep in mind that's something required, and folic acid is 400 to 600. And strict vegetarian, vitamin B12 is also deficient. So the clinical presentation is very, very simple, right from heart to brain to skin to everything get involved with anemia, weakness, fatigue, dyspnea, palpitation, swelling over feet and body, pallor, this is all so many things, glossitis, stomatitis, chillosis, then raised JVP, tachycardia, tachypnea, cramps in lung, hepatosplenomegaly, beating edema, and so many things. Some unusual complaints patient comes, and if we get the hemoglobin checkup done and she is found to be 4 gram, 5 gram, sometimes we never think of it that she'll have something. She's having no breathlessness, nothing. Only she comes sometimes with a glossitis, and we find out she's having a severe anemia. Sometimes hemic murmur, and she comes with a cardiac failure. The pregnancy and mother and anemia, we all know. More the complications with the pregnancy if she is anemic, abruptio, preterm labor, low birth weight, IUGR. And it also predisposes to the infection like UTI, puerperal sepsis, and so many things. Now, and again, these are, again, it's an increased risk of PPH, some involution of the uterus, lactation failure, maternal mortality due to CHF, cerebral anoxia, sepsis, and thromboembolism. Sometimes we don't know why patient died. We talk about the maternal mortality. We discuss maternal mortality, but a smallest part of this is maybe due to the anemia is one of the cause. It should not be the like 4 and 5 gram of hemoglobin, but it can be that she can have the maternal mortality with the 8 gram of hemoglobin also with all these effects. So these are the another things. So post-critical period is 28 to 30 weeks of pregnancy, labor, immediately after delivery, and early pregnancy. So these are the, and now how we work up for the anemia, we take a detailed history. So there's so many things. Now examination for all those things which we think of is there. And then investigations, the severity of anemia, hematocrit, first visit, 28 to 30 weeks, 36 weeks, type of anemia we find out, bone marrow activity, hemolytic anemia, acute blood loss, iron deficiency anemia, and other investigation. Now the red cell indices are very, very important. With simple one CBC report, we can do many more things. RBC count less, PCV less than 32, MCV low in iron deficiency anemia, MCH decreases, MCSC decreases, and these are the special investigation: ferritin, serum iron binding capacity, percentage saturation of transferrin, and RBC protoporphyrin. So these are the few things, and the other investigations: urine stool, serum creatinine, renal diseases, X-ray, pulmonary chest is also very, very important. And bone marrow examination if their anemia is refractory. Now the treatment part. So improving diet, very important. Treat worm infection, food fortification with iron and genetic modification of the food, iron and folic acid. Heme iron better present animal food is better absorption, and enhance the citrus food, vitamin C. Avoid tea, coffee, calcium, phytates, phosphate, and all these things. Supplementation in the pregnancy: 60 milligram elemental iron and 400 microgram of folic acid. Therapeutic dose 180 to 200. Route of administration depends upon the severity of anemia, gestation age, compliance, tolerability of iron, and various preparations. These are the fumarate, gluconate, succinate, sulfate, ascorbate, carbonyl iron. Oral iron have also side effects like nausea, vomiting, gastritis, and diarrhea, constipation also. So the problems with iron dose: 110 Indian pregnant women treated with the ferrous sulfate, elemental iron 60 milligram, 120 milligram, and 240. So the dose is 240 is too much and cannot be given. Higher dose of iron causes GI intolerance. Now the oral iron 8 to 10 milligram early pregnancy, contraindication to oral iron therapy. Intolerance to oral iron, advanced pregnancy, severe anemia and not complaint, failure to respond, inaccurate diagnosis, faulty absorption, continuous blood loss, coexisting infection, and concomitant. These are the indicators to response to therapy, feeling of well-being, improved look of the patient, and better appetite. And rise of hemoglobin 0.5 to 0.7 gram per week after the 3 weeks. And reticulocyte is also important. It increases in 7 to 8 days. Now the parenteral iron sucrose, polymaltose, so many things. We'll just go through it and nothing too serious about it. Now the indications of the blood transfusion is severe after 36 weeks we can talk about, and there is associated infection, anemic pregnancy. Now the oral iron, today with the conventional iron preparation, there is a limitation, GI side effects, so many, and a poor absorption. So the nausea, flatulence, abdominal pain, constipation, and interaction with the phylate stylings, non-adherent to 75%, and treatment failures, unnecessary follow-up investigation. Time, slow improvement of the hemoglobin levels. Newer iron formulation. Thanks to the Torrent Pharma for giving this opportunity to us to have this panel discussion today, as well as talking about the iron deficiency anemia and their newer formulation they have come up with. So I'm just putting 3-4 slides over here to just make it convenient for all of us. A conventional iron will associate with many tolerability issues, and newer iron formulations like liposomal, microsomal technologies are being used to improve the tolerability and absorption rates of the iron. So these are the big data. These are the microsomal, liposomal, sucrosomal, iSeal, and a conventional iron. And the latest is a microsomal. It is coming up. And because it has got the excellent patient compliance, less side effects, smaller particle, proven a mechanism of absorption, and WHO recommended. So these are the new type formulation. This is a microsomal iron. It's a micronized, highly bioavailable encapsulated iron made up from Japan, not China. Microsomal technology ensures that the iron absorbed by the body and has no side effect, stable against heat, salt, and pH oxidation, and the technology ensures this thing. Now this is the ferric pyrophosphate. This is the widely used iron sucrose, food fortification and nutritional supplement. And it has got definitely a good, because it's a microsomal, and it has got very good oral absorption rate, very good efficacy, and it is under, this is the curve. Now the size distribution is also very important. Particle size is measured with a lesser distraction, and this is the technology, and this is the particle size. So important for us, the particle size is very, very important. And this is the beneficial is a conventional iron is like that, and microsomal iron like this. In liposome encapsulated fused with the cell membrane, enabling the direct release into the cells. So it's very, very important direct technology. And mean rise of hemoglobin in 30 days, according to the studies they have done, it's a good number of very good rise. And there is a bioavailability also is good with the biosalts. And this is a 4 times more with a microsomal. And then this is the rebuilt HB ingredients and concentration. Iron phosphate 30 milligram, folic acid 250, glycine 10 milligram. Indication for the system. Summary is very, very important. Microsite provides a highly bioavailable and encapsulated iron, effectively corrects anemia, no metabolic test, and gentle on stomach. Thank you so much.